Hey everyone and welcome. Trust in the judiciary is at an all-time low. Trust in the police is at an all-time low. And there's very good reason why. Here's another reason why.
And I do believe that we have rotten politics, and I'm not using that as an exaggeration.
This is DCC Becky Ricks on Newsnight, completely lying to your face. Now, she's the national lead on child protection and abuse investigations, and she's rejected suggestions by Robert Jenrick that group-based CSE, i.e. shrooming, is committed predominantly by British Pakistani men. Have a listen to what she says and we'll break it down. Lying by omission and complete barefaced lies on this.
Hear that, and there is nothing more. These crimes are abhorrent, they are appalling, and they are unpalatable. And I am not here to defend errors of the past, and I will not. I can't defend the indefensible. What I can do is talk to you about what policing does now, working alongside other agencies to safeguard.
We know what it does now. Absolutely F all. Absolutely F all. And then they'll tell you that they are doing something, even though we can see with our eyes they're doing nothing other than making excuses.
Vulnerable children, particularly those that go missing. I think in 2025 we are much more alive to some of the signs and symptoms with regards to children that are being exploited, and we work incredibly hard with a number of agencies to understand what that looks like. Victoria, I know you have some data. We have the Child Sexual Exploitation Task Force that has worked incredibly hard for policing to truly understand the scale and scope of what child sexual exploitation is across England and Wales.
Shall I just talk about some of that data? Because it is exclusive new data that your organisation has
The barefaced lie
shared with us.
Is coming.
Tonight for our audience. So for the whole of 2024, group-based CSE, child sexual exploitation, i.e. grooming gangs, accounted for 17% of all group-based sexual abuse.
Look at the way the copper's looking at the camera. You will believe what you're being told, all right, or you're a bigot.
Crimes against children. And looking at the ethnicity of suspects, and the MPCC say you have to regard these figures with caution because only just under a third of suspects had their ethnicity recorded.
Did you hear that? Only a third had their ethnicity recorded. So 69% of
in 2024,
of shroomers didn't have their ethnicity recorded. Now, we all suspect the reason for that, don't we? Because they don't like what that would reveal. So this is a very small section that's been hand-picked, in my honest opinion, to make it look a lot less prevalent.
As you can see there, of those suspects where ethnicity is known, just over half are white British. Pakistani suspects are substantially overrepresented in grooming cases where the ethnicity is known. In England and Wales, about 1 in 40 people are Pakistani. Of grooming gang suspects where ethnicity is recorded, about 1 in 8 are Pakistani. And what do those figures tell you?
It tells me that they're not recording it properly and we should not have more information about this, does it not? And if they don't, it means that their disregard for victims is off the scale.
Deputy Chief
Still.
What those figures tell you is the scale and the scope of what is crime reported figures. So that is actual crimes that have been reported to policing, that have been investigated.
And not ignored. Remember, we were told by quite a few of the victims that they were dismissed as hoes, dismissed as dirty, dismissed as deserving it. All by her ilk and the people on this panel's ilk, barring one.
To varying degrees. What that will also show you when it comes to group-based offending is it comes in all shapes, sizes and forms. So whilst there is
Yes, and you should be doing your job on all of them, shouldn't they, everyone? Rather than just picking and choosing, you should be getting every single one of them and throwing the book at them.
Real focus in terms of Pakistani Asian males grooming gangs. You will see from that data that it will tell you that there are other risks to children as well, such as...
Can I just say...
No one said otherwise, did we? No one said otherwise. We know there's other risks as well. The problem is that most of the risks, on a disproportionate basis, are people that weren't originally from here. So we're shipping in more of the same.
Though, like, wherever there's an overrepresentation, there's normally a reason why that person's that whether that's gender, ethnicity, anything, where there's an overrepresentation, that means that there's normally an issue behind that.
Nailed it, didn't she there? Nailed it. And look at the response. She's terrified, that copper. And all of the others are terrified as well.
There needs tackling.
Yeah. And all of these issues need tackling. I'm not here to lessen any of this.
So did you hear that? The girl on the left there was right. Disproportionately is what we should be looking at as well, because that means there's a problem with the community, doesn't it? And she immediately went to, yeah, you're right, but everyone's a problem. You see the problem we've got here?
Type of offending in the slightest. These are all abhorrent crimes.
About the only thing I actually agree with the copper on that. It is all abhorrent and it should all be policed equally, but it's not, is it?
These crimes are still relevant today. These ladies are talking about historic crimes, but actually you're seeing the data.
Yeah.
These are actually crimes.
What she's just admitted there is that they still haven't got a grip of it. They still are letting it go on. If it's still happening now after all of the abhorrent information that's come out, there's a problem with the police force, is there not?
That happen in society today.
And in how many towns and cities? Because the leader of the Conservative Party says rape gangs have a presence in over 50 towns. What would you say?
Yeah, I would say that out of the 44 forces that we collect this data from, the majority of those forces will have some form of group-based offending. In fact, all of them will have some form of group-based offending reported to them.
Yeah, and the Shadow Justice Secretary suggests...
Do you hear that? 47 out of the 47 police areas, they've all got this going on. Still got this going on, and still don't seem to be doing anything about it, do they?
That these crimes are from predominantly British Pakistani men, according to your data. That's not true.
That's not true, yeah.
Right, so let's have a look at this data, shall we? There it is. Now this is the self-defined ethnicity of Shrooming's gang suspects in 2024. Now this, as I said earlier, is just a small hand-picked version of events, isn't it? But what I want to show you is the numbers. Now obviously this is a predominantly white British nation, roughly up at the 75 to 85% mark of the population. So we're massively underrepresented. 55% of them are white British, yet 80% of the nation are white British. And here's the kicker. Are we ready for this one? Asian and Pakistani are massively overrepresented. So you've got Pakistani. There we go. So of the population at the last census, just over 2.5% of the population are Pakistani. So 2.5% of the population are committing 12.9% of the shrooming. 12.9. That's 4 times what it should be. See the disproportionate part, the disproportionate part. And what makes this worse, everyone, is this. Out of that number, the just over 2.5% of the population of Pakistani, half of those will be women, so that reduces it down to just over 1%, and a large number of those will be children, which reduces it even more to less than 1% of the population are committing 12.9% of the crime that they're talking about. See, this is the problem I have with the police. They'll lie to your faces, they'll admit the truth, which is effectively lying, to create a narrative that is completely wrong, all to protect fiddlers and barbarians, as far as I'm concerned. Let me know what you think. I'd like to know your opinion. I'm sick to death of being peed on and being told it's raining by our leaders and police forces. Up yours to all of you. Let me know what you think. I'd like to know your opinion. Stay sane, everyone. I'll see you on the next one.